Okay. Almost forgot about my signage. So I'll put it there. Not even. Almost. Okay. Oh, look a little low there. Get down a little bit. How's that? Better, right? Okay. Hi, how you doing? Simplicity. It's really easy. I'm telling you it's so easy. I'm gonna prove it in a minute. Now, we all have excuses as to why we don't advance, as to why we don't succeed, as to why we don't get ahead. Excuses, reasons. We listen to advice from people. No, I'm not. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm not. I'm not going to give you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You know, really, I'm not. Um, the simplicity of it is this. I'm going to tell you right now. Now, you can take every precaution under the sun to not catch the cold. It's so funny how people think that. If you go outside and it's cold outside and you don't wear a jacket, you'll catch a cold. You don't catch colds through the cold. You catch colds through viruses, germs, if you will, what you can't see. Period. Okay. Now, we may see it as an ailment, we may see it as not a good thing, but our body builds up its immune system by having those things happen. Period. Okay. What do they say? What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. I'm amused by these things. I'm really amused by these things. Why? Okay, watch this. I'm going to show you something. Most people believe in the pharmaceutical companies. Now, if you really listen to the commercials, try it sometimes. Listen to their commercials. You'll hear the word believe. You will. Okay? Because that's what they do. They believe. Okay? Um, most of the time, most of the time, medicines, um, excuses, all those things are used to cover stuff, not deal with it, cover it. I'm going to show you what I mean. This is my prime example. Okay, I got bad knees. They're good right now. Okay, because I was in a car wreck when I was a kid, because I ran violently as a kid, because your body gets wear and tear. That's just the way it is. Don't be shocked by that. Don't be okay. Here's the thing. I will get a pain in my knee sometimes. Here's what most people do when they get a pain in their knee or their elbow or whatever. They take pills. Now, I'm not saying don't take pills. I'm not saying that, folks. Okay? Here's naproxen sodium that I had to take for a migraine that was coming in. Okay, I don't get many migraines. I don't. They cut maybe every 2 or 3 years, maybe, they're sparse. But I knew it was coming on. Now I'm a guy. I'm a guy. I can handle some stuff. I can handle some intense stuff. But I'm driving down the road, and as I'm driving down the road, everything turns bright, and I really can't see words like I want to. I can't focus. And I thought, this is a migraine. So I made it to the store because I was going to go and get some stuff to make some food because I opened my business, so my business is open, thank God. And I get the pills, and I caught it just in time, and eventually, and I had to close my eyes, and I had to chill, and relax for a moment. Breathing has a lot to do with it too, honestly. You'd be surprised. And it went away. Okay. Now that is something that I know is pain. That's where the pills come in and needed. Okay. That's something I will do. Now the pain in my leg, I won't do that. And I'll tell you why. The reason there's a pain in my leg is my body's telling me, or my joints, look, dude, you're doing this a little too much, or maybe you walk funny. Relax from it for a minute. Okay. So I'll either limp or I'll sit down and let it rest. And then it's good again. See, look, what? I get up, no problem with my knees. If I had a problem, I would, all that junk. Now, I'm not a doctor. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Most doctors aren't doctors. Anytime you walk into a doctor's office, this is what they're doing: rolling the dice, hoping they guess what's wrong with you. Now, they don't want to guess right away what's wrong with you because the longer you stay, the more they make. The more you come, the more they get. That's the truth. It's if you will, it's the new church. The hospitals are the new church. The medical centers are the new church. Okay? The pharmaceutical companies, the politicians, they're the evangelists. Straight up, it's a religion. Okay, going back to this now. Okay, so that's a little prime example of dealing with issues simplistically. I leave it alone, I rest. Somehow it's okay now. Okay, so I gotta watch the way I walk. See, and a lot of times it's up here. Okay, now I'm gonna show you something real simple. It's pretty powerful, pretty amazing. Breathing. Wow, real simple, real easy. Okay, now I'm gonna show you something. Blow your mind. Blow your mind. They call it involuntary, meaning you don't have to have a thought process for it to happen. It automatically happens. Breathing, heart rate, heartbeat, same thing. Okay, involuntary. It just does it on its own. Now, what's odd is when you lay down at night and go to sleep, with your trusting, everything's cool in your home, everything's wonderful. Okay, and if you're using outside influence to help you sleep, the more outside influences you feel that helps you sleep does not help you sleep. Okay. A lot of times our mind overrides us. This is a lot of stuff going on, folks. I'm telling you right now. But we fell for that stuff because basically it's a consumer society. The more you consume, the more they make, whoever they are. The more you take in, the more they make. Okay. It's kind of funny because I remember when we used to have Bible studies at a park. I can remember the name of the park. Anyway, we'd have Bible studies there. And we got done with the Bible study, and I went to go play basketball. And I'm up in the age there, and there's 23, 22-year-olds I'm playing against. So it was me and three 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds against, and I'm 40-something at the time. And I'm playing them, and I'm trying to get my kids to go get their mom. I'm like, go get her, so look what I'm doing. I'm amazing. Here I am playing with these young guys, and I'm getting it. And I won. We won the game. I couldn't play again. I was broken. Well, as a result of me being aggressive, my legs swelled up. My feet swelled up. They did. They swelled up big time. I actually couldn't walk. And then because I'm walking funny and I couldn't walk very well, I went to take a turn and I had this table in the hallway and I clipped myself in my knee. And my knee swelled up. I had to actually walk on pillows and crawl through the house. I couldn't walk. Then, anyway, my wife said, go to the hospital or go to the clinic. I said, here's what they're going to do. They're going to give me crutches. They're going to give me pain pills, and they're going to tell me to stay off it. That's what they're going to do. But I'll go because you asked me to. Okay. People were saying, you must have gout because my feet were swelled. No, I'm not a white dude. I don't have gout. People would suggest things. It's funny how everybody out there is a medical expert. No, didn't have that happen. Okay. All of a sudden, I went to the clinic, and what did they do? They gave me pain pills, 800 milligrams. I won't do the narcotic stuff. 800 milligrams. Ice patch. Crutches. Stay off it. Exactly what I said. Period. Okay. Now I don't go against people going to doctors. By all means, go all you want. I don't say that. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and especially in this society today, like you hear about that actor that got run over by his snowplow. Boy, they hooked him up. Why? He's famous. He's got money. They'll gladly do that. He's got the money. You don't got the money. You got to wait. You don't got the notoriety. You got to wait. And it's kind of funny because for all you atheists, all you guys like that, the hospital started from the churches. The churches are the ones that started hospitals. The churches are the ones that started schools and education. Yeah. Hello. Anyway, it's fine. If you want to believe there's no God, good for you. You're awesome. Anyway, simplistically. Simplistically. Okay, so we're told a story, and it's pathetic that they do these stories like it's little kid stories about Adam and Eve. You know, when they do the story of David and Goliath, they do it as a little kid story. When they do this story about Jonah and the whale, they use it as a little kid story. And people demean those stories, you know, Sunday school stuff, because everybody wants advancement. Everybody wants to be smart. Everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants to be somebody. Those aren't little kid stories. Okay. And I'm going to share this with you, and I'll share it again, and I'll share it again, and I'll share it in everyone I share. The fruit that they ate, that they partook of in the garden, was a fig, not an apple. It was a fig, period. Okay. So we're told these stories, and of course, we get into so much stuff, so much stuff, so much stuff. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. Okay. It's kind of funny. I'm just going to give you a little prime example. I used to go into the jail here, wherever that jail is, and I would counsel the inmates. I would literally counsel the inmates. And so when I would counsel the inmates, I would tell the inmates, and they're all over 18 years old, they're all adults. And I would tell the inmates, I would say, look, guys, if you want to, if you want to, I got to get rice and beans going. Okay. If you want to, yeah, I gotta get if you want to continue partying, uh, um, continue in that mode of operation, well, get out of here. Don't listen to me. Give me a second. I'm going to do something real quick. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Well, more than 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Be patient. Be patient. I'll be right back. I apologize for taking a little time to do that. Okay. So I would tell these inmates for about 3 minutes. I was getting my bean water ready because I got to order tonight. So enchilada dinner, beans and rice, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, so I tell these inmates, if you enjoy your party life, if you enjoy misery, if you enjoy destruction, don't listen to me. You better leave now, because I'm gonna ruin your party life. I'm gonna ruin your wanting to get high on drugs life. I'm gonna ruin that for you. So if you like that lifestyle, if you like jail, if you like prisons, if you like being drawn down, leave now. Otherwise, you're gonna get news about being free. You're gonna get information about being free. Okay, so a lot of them didn't leave. And honestly, on the streets, I remember we'd be a little down and out, facing situations not as extreme, but don't have enough money for gas, things like that. And wow, we faced some controversies. And there'd be somebody that walk up, hey, thank you for coming into that jail. And I didn't recognize them because they didn't have their orange suits on, so they looked a little different. And they'd say, thanks for coming into that jail. What you shared with me, I haven't been there in a year. I quit beating my wife and I got a job. What? Wow. Okay. Awesome. And it wasn't just one, it was different ones. Thanks for coming in there. I might have to go back in there again. I don't know yet. We're leveling things out. We're starting small. So, there's a church here in Mandaree that's not even open. One guy was telling me about it. I might have to open that. I don't know yet. See what God wants. I have to do what God wants, period. Okay, going back to this now. So, and I get some serious, crazy questions, even about the Bible. And I know Indians hate the Bible because it's a white man's religion, they say. They hate this, which is understandable. I totally understand that. So this gentleman tells me, well, it's just a book. It's just a book. I said, yeah, you're right. It is just a book. I said, but let me ask you something, sir. Let me ask you something. He goes, well, that stuff in there, some of it can't be true. Raising the dead. I mean, he went into this big tangent of why the Bible couldn't be true. I said, let me ask you, what kind of books do you read? I read science fiction. I said, okay, cool. You read science fiction. So the books that you read, they're fiction, right? Yeah, they're fiction. I said, fine. And you spend a lot of time reading them because in jail, in prison, it burns the time because you could sit there and get in a really good book and you'll look and the time passed. So you can actually enjoy yourself having to burn time in jail. Okay. Reading a lot of stuff. So I said, so you read science fiction. Cool. Now let me ask you something. I said, what the stories they share in science fiction, you have to believe what's happening in there for you to enjoy the book. He looks at me. He goes, what? I said, really? Now, the stuff they tell you in the science fiction had to happen somewhere, or, it had to be associated with something that might be able to happen. Otherwise, you would not enjoy the book. And he was like, wow, dude, that's true. I said, there you go. So the same effort that you put into that book, okay, when it's not true, because it says fiction, because fiction means it's not true. But they have to grab it for some resource that may have occurred or is believable. Otherwise, you wouldn't enjoy your book. There you go. Now watch this. As I'm leaving, okay, because again, most of the guys would tell me, and I see the controversy. Oh my God, I see the controversy now. I see it. It's a real big controversy. Can't share it with you yet. But all of a sudden, I'm finding out how merciful God really is, putting up with us. Yeah, putting up with us. Most of the time, we think we're putting up with him because we think that he puts some kind of gauntlet in front of us that we have to maneuver around, that we have to do certain things, that we have to be a certain way, that we have to act a certain way. All that junk when that's not the case. Again, I'm going to share some stuff with you. Church shares with you. That's not true. You don't have to give money, period. No. You don't have to attend a church service. No, you don't. Straight up. Now, if you like to go, awesome for you. If you like to give money, awesome for you. Continue. Let's hope you get the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow that they tell you about. But no, you don't have to do that. You don't. You don't have to pray. You don't have to read your Bible. All the stuff that they tell you have to, you don't even have to live right. Uh-oh, there's some religious people going to go, wait a minute, Charles. Wait a minute, Charles. Wait a minute. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. Okay. Now, myself, and I had a really disillusioned process of being raised. Okay. So, what do I know about raising children? Not a darn thing. Okay. No idea. Well, my children, okay, not looking at it as bad or good, not looking at it as right or wrong. Okay. Because if you asked me about wrong, I hate poop. I hate it with a passion. Don't like poop. Don't want to be around poop. Yet, when it came to my children being changed, I would do it. And I wouldn't look at it as wrong. Think about that. Okay. I'd change them. Change their little poopy diapers. Change their wet diapers. Try to change them so much so they didn't get the chafing or all that stuff, you know. Anyway, so cute little guys when they were small. Anyway, um, didn't look at it as right or wrong. Okay. And so instilling ideas into them from the Bible. Here's what the Bible says about that, just to give you an idea. Bring up your children in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. One that my wife used to always throw at me was provoke not your children to wrath. That was a hard one. Because I'm the king of my castle and I say what goes. Yeah, right. So again, going back to when I said, you don't even have to live right. All right? I can't tell you that. I'm not your father. See, I always look at it as a family setting. When I raised my children, no one could come into that arena and say, you're not doing it right. Here's how you should do it. Because I would tell them, hold on a minute. Okay, so what right does man have to tell God how to raise his children? See? And that's the problem. That's the problem with the church today. You got way too many stepfathers stepping all over God's children, trying to tell them how to live. Let me give you an example. All right, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by you don't even have to live right. Watch this. I'm in John 9 now. Here's what it says. Here's what it says. Watch this. This is Hebrews 12:4. You have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. In other words, if you're fighting sin, you haven't trusted in his blood. If you're struggling with sin, you have not yet resisted unto the blood. That's what that means. You haven't. If you are still striving against the wrong, if you're still striving against those things, you have not yet resisted unto blood. Now, I'm going to share something with you because there's another scripture that Paul says. It says, he said, I am persuaded that nothing is unclean of itself, but to him that esteemeth it unclean, to him it is unclean. like me. They'll use bowls for the dogs, and then they'll wash them out and use them for themselves. I can't do that. That's why I have my own bowls and stuff. I can't do that. I'm just, to them it's not clean, to me it is. I don't say they're wrong. I don't say I'm right. I'm just saying I don't do that. Okay. You have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. So we haven't resisted unto the blood if we're fighting sin. If we're fighting against sin, which we're not supposed to be fighting sin. Okay. And I like this other one where it talks about go somewhere, somebody invites you to eat what's before you, don't ask any questions. It's a good one. There's a lot of scriptures in here. Okay, now watch this. Dealing with you don't even have to live right. Let me show you. And you have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. All right. So when we trust in the blood, and what did the blood do, folks? See, we have to get back to that. What did the blood of Jesus really do? Okay. We'll get into that. Don't worry. Striving against sin. Okay. You have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. Watch this. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord. He chastens us. We can't despise his chastening of us. Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Wow. I remember Peter. When Jesus said that he's going to be delivered to the Gentile, he's going to be crucified. And Peter stood up and said, that shall not happen to you. And what did Jesus say? Extreme. Get thee behind me, Satan. Wow. That's a form of following. I'm going to show you right now what I mean by that, okay? So here comes Jesus, and he already has a direction from God. This is what's going to happen. Here comes Peter to counter it. That is not going to happen to you. See? And in all instances, in all accounts, I was doing the bad, good thing. It sounded good because who wants their leader? Who wants their master? Who wants their person that is, taking care of them beat up? So it seems like a good thing, Right on, Peter. You go and you defend that Jesus. Just like Cain when he made that garden. It seemed like a good thing. Okay? When Eve ate that fruit, it looked like a good thing. No, 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 no. He said, get thee behind me, Satan, for thou favorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of man. There you go. See, and that's the tricky part. Because I'm not gonna lie, we got some great ideas. We got some amazing ideas. We got some amazing stuff. We got the stuff that is awesome, but it's not God. And if it's not God, get rid of it. Look at this. Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. I'm going to give you another one. Okay? I'm going to give you another one. We'll come back to Hebrews 12. But John 15, I'm in 9 right now, but 15, I'll come back to 9. Watch this. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. Wow. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it. Wow. Purge. Let's see what purge means. Let's look that word up real quick, just to get a specific definition. Purge definition. Boom. Of unwanted quality, condition, or feeling. Remove from an organization or place in an abrupt or violent way. Physically remove or expel. Oh, that's heavy duty. Let me read that again. Remove from an organization or a place in an abrupt or violent way. Wow. He purges it, and it looks violent. It looks terrible. Okay. What do I mean by that? Okay. Think of something that you have held on to for quite some time. Just think of it for a minute. That you highly uphold, that you cherish, that is your last argument of the day, to where you can go, well, that may be wrong and this may be wrong, but at least I got this. Okay. It's kind of funny because a lot of us have that. It reminds me of the kids on the playground. My daddy said so. That was the argument. I remember that as a kid. The argument in the playground was, well, my daddy said so. You know, oh yeah, my daddy can beat up your daddy. That stuff. Okay. Now, if you want, you can do this, and it'll help you. Believe me, it'll help you. But all this stuff that you hold and cherish, write it down. Write it down and look at it. Okay. Just write it down. No matter what belief system it is, it doesn't matter if it's something handed to you by someone that died a long time ago. Write it down. Just write it down on a piece of paper and look at it. And then ask yourself this: how did you find out about that information? From someone else. Not from you. It did not come from you. It came from someone else, which means it's a second-hand language. Heavy duty, I know. It's rough, but true. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to dispel what you believe, what you cherish, what you hold to your heart. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm doing is pointing out the argument that we give. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay. So I'm in college. Okay. I'm in college. And if I shared this story before, I apologize. I like to repeat myself sometimes. In college, everybody, college, you're going to college. Oh my God. College really ain't all it's cracked up to be. All it is books and people repeating what's written in books. That's all it is. They say that outside thinkers and people that, no. And it's a bunch of people that are over that are making big money out of it. Big money. You see how much they charge for little books? $300. $300 for information that you're probably going to only use one page of that information. Hello. Most of it is just gibberish to make the book thicker. So you could be like, look at this book I bought for $300. Man, it's priceless. Baloney. It's junk. Sorry. Not saying don't go to college. Not saying don't get an education. Okay. So I'm in college. And people there know I'm a minister. Okay. They know I'm a minister. Of course, because I am a minister, I get tagged with a lot of different definitions. Well, what kind of minister are you? What religion do you believe in? What church do you go to? What kind of Bible do you read? That kind of stuff. Okay. Instead of sitting back and seeing what I do and listening to what I share, no. Let's dissect you real quick. See, when they ask those questions, it's because they already have a preconceived idea about it. And they want to validate their idea. Instead of doing a clean slate and going, okay, let me just listen and let me watch. Because that's your greatest answerers right there, is your eyes and your ears. If you decide to take the time to really listen and really watch. Those are your best advocates, if you will, your best friends when it comes to finding out information. Okay? Okay. So all of a sudden, someone comes up, and it's so funny because they have this story. I won't get into that. Give me a second. So right away, someone asked me without hesitation. Here's what they asked me. Charles. Yes. And this is the whole class. There's probably, let me see. Even the teacher was against me. 18, 19 people in there. Yeah, at least. And they're all there. And they got a group of them against me, which is fine. I don't mind that. Okay. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Okay, so I'm probably 19 years old. I'm working at a grocery store, and I'm attempting to learn about the Bible at that time. So I was considered kind of a learning minister, if you will. So the lady that her son owned the store, she was a little older lady. She she used to wear this wig that didn't match her face at all. Her face was really wrinkled, so you knew her hair would be gray, and it just didn't fit. But hey, you're rich, do your thing. Anyway, so the lady, she's reading a story in the paper in Portland, Oregon. There was a guy who broke into a home. Not funny. The thing was that the guy didn't know the family of the home he broke into. He just broke in. And he had a stick and had nails in it. And he beat this family while they were sleeping. Mother, father, children. Nobody died, thank God. But of course, they caught him. He went to jail. And the lady looked me right in the eye. Here's what she said to me. You know, Charles, God has nothing to do with a man like that, does he? I said, actually, that's who he came for. She just turned. She just, what are you talking about? I don't believe that. I said, well, then you don't believe in the God of the Bible. I said, because the minute I didn't go too much with her because I could tell she was already stringent. Because again, she's got money, she's older, she's white. So therefore, she is somebody important and special. So you're not going to tell me anything, mud race. Fine. But I let her know. See, I will not contradict truth by God's grace. I will always share what the truth is. It doesn't matter if the whole world says no. If God says yes, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say yes. If people not be my friends, if people hate me, if people banish me, fine. I'd rather be banished alone with God than in a crowd of people that can't stand me anyway, just pretend they like me. Okay, so they asked me, Charles, do you believe in UFOs? Now, some of you out there might tell me stories about lights and tell me stories about, what you saw or what you were told someone saw. Like this lady here, she told me, she goes, yeah, you know something, Charles? I said, what's that? I think I was driving her because she was intoxicated. So I was driving her to a friend's house. We're on a dark road. I'm not intoxicated at all. That's why I'm driving because, what do they call them? DDs, the designated driver. I guess that's what they call them. Anyway, down this dark road to her friend's house. And she tells me, she says, there's a story about a police officer who picked someone up and gave them a ride. And as they're driving, the person disappeared. I said, okay, let me ask you one question. I said, were you there? Well, no. So you were told this? Yeah. So it might not be true. I said, let me give you evidence as to why I know it's not true. I'm going to tell you right now. And I know, don't get me wrong now. Don't get your juices flowing about ghost stories and all that junk that you hear. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just sharing this. I said, for one, police officers don't just pick up people that they don't know. And if they do, they ask their name. Cops officially have to ask who gets in their car, She goes, oh, yeah. I said, that's what happens to a lot of people. They get hyped up in these stories that are just stupid. I'm going to say it, stupid. Okay, let me do this now. So when they asked me if I believed in UFOs, let me show you my next project I'm doing. Here's my next project. This is beadwork. So this whole thing is going to be covered in beadwork. Boom. Anyway. So I asked these people, these college people, I said, okay, what does the U stand for? Now they changed it now. It's not UFO anymore. They said, unidentified. Okay. What does unidentified mean? It means I don't know what it is. I said, how can you believe what you don't know? They couldn't answer. Then I told them this. I said, well, you know what's funny is I'm going to tell you something right now because I hear the stories about those things and I hear that they're studying us. And I told them, I said, If they are studying us for this long and haven't figured us out by now, they're the most stupidest things ever, and I don't want to know them. I said, I'll give you the whole human condition, the whole human psyche in a nutshell. Give us money, we're happy. Take our money, we get mad. Now, you might think money as in dollar bills. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about anything we hold as valuable. Like I said, if you go back and something that you cherish, something that you highly uphold, write it down and find out where that came from. Find out. You have to find out where stuff came from. If it didn't come from a valuable source, why are you holding on to it? If it didn't come from somewhere that's solid, why are you holding on to it? And do not base it on race. I'm going to tell you that right now. Races are not very strong. Straight up. We all go to the grave. That's how strong races are. That's the ability of race, going to the grave. Maybe the stink, we might have a competition, and I don't know. Anyway, so I'll give you this story. Okay, again, simplistically. Let me give you a story. Oh, going back to the UFO thing. I said, besides, why do we want to know people 10 million miles away and we can't know someone 10 feet from us? Hello. Let me give you this. Watch this. So Jesus is with his disciples, and everything that Jesus talks about, everything that Jesus shares with them, of course, they get mad because Jesus basically doesn't lift up anyone. He doesn't make them more than what they are. We like that. Don't get me wrong. On this end, we love it when people congratulate us, when people, build us up, when, we love it. We love it. He never did that. So people couldn't unfigure him out. Why doesn't he kiss people's butt? Why doesn't he do things to better himself? Why doesn't, that kind of stuff? Most of the human race does for advantage. So here's what happens. 24:1 of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and the disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple, the history, the identity, they're going to show Jesus something. Come here, Jesus. I know, Jesus. You're awesome. You can raise the dead. You can heal the sick. You can say words that just make us go, wait a minute, wow. But this you can't go against, Jesus. This you cannot go against. You will not be able to go against what we're going to show you right now. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to give you an example. I was with my wife. This was years ago. And her brother always contradicted her when it came to the Bible. All right? So when they meet me being a minister, of course, they're going to zone in on me. They're going to put the crosshairs on me. Here's what her brother said. Watch. Now, if you get upset about this, I apologize, but this is the truth. Here's what happened. He looked at me and he said, did you know that the pipe, the sacred pipe, was before Jesus Christ? I said, did you know that the tree was before the sacred pipe? And if you're the maker of it, that means you're the God of it. Couldn't argue there. Yeah, there you go. See? So this is what happened here. These guys are going to try to contradict Jesus by saying, we got something you cannot come against. Watch this. So they're showing him the buildings of the temple. And some of the argument was that some of the stones actually came from the original temple of Solomon. So they were proud of that. We got history here, Jesus. We got established history. We've got something nobody can come against. Oh, yes, we can. Watch what he says here. Jesus said unto them, see you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be one left here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. In other words, all this is going away. Let me give you the emotion of what they were feeling. Let me give that to you. It'd be like somebody taking pictures of your family. Let's say you got pictures 3 generations back, maybe 2 generations back, and you treasure them. You might have them in a box somewhere. You might have them up in a closet somewhere. Or you might even have them on the wall. Then somebody comes along, takes those pictures, throws them on the ground, and urinates on them, pees on them. How would you feel? You can't do that. How they felt, that's what Jesus just did. He just tore apart everything that they ever treasured themselves as. And see, that's the problem today. That's the problem. Nobody looks at it simplistically. Nobody looks at it as simple, real simple. I was sharing this story. I remember when we lived here, we would drive to Minot. We'd take the kids to McDonald's. And the reason we took them there was they had their little playland, and we didn't want to be cooped up. So when there was a break in the horrendous storms, we'd drive up there. And we'd take them to the playland, and they'd be in there playing, and they'd play and play and play and play and play. But what was crazy was there was a field of cows that we would always go by, always. And every time my daughter and my little guys would see those cows, they were excited. Look at cows, wow. And I'm telling you, it was the same cows, the same pasture, the same road that we took. But they were so excited just seeing cows, the same exact cows. But it was like they, see the eyes of a child? So powerful. That's why I like the way Jesus did that. Because when they brought children to Jesus, the disciples tried to rebuke those children. And Jesus said, leave them alone. For the simplicity, the simple, the really, really, really simple. See? And that's what it all boils down to. What's coming out of here? What is coming out of there? Let me show you. This is a prime example. Because what's coming out of here is what's in here. See? We don't take the time to listen to ourselves. We don't take the time to actually go and say, what am I really saying? Try it sometime. Any argument you might have, any discussion you might have, really try listening to yourself and see what you're really saying, and then base it on something. See? And that's what gets us in a lot of trouble. That's what gets us into, because watch, let me show you what I mean. If what's coming out of our mouth isn't solid, if what's coming out of our mouth isn't helping, if what's coming out of our mouth, now I'm not saying sit there and try to redo your work. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's evidence of what's going on in here. And generally, whatever is going on in here is going to deal with what's out there. Okay? Straight up. Let me show you what I mean. I seen a lady who posted and said, why do I always end up with losers? Well, is it the loser's fault? Or is it you going to the loser? Said you can't blame strangers for coming into your home if your door's wide open. How about closing that thing, letting people knock, but then figuring out who you're letting in your home, the home of your heart? See, we don't want to do that. We don't want to take the time. I'm telling you, okay, when Jesus gave that to us, when he said, whatever comes out of your mouth is what's inside your heart, okay? And again, it's so funny because, again, I'm not saying go and be a guru. I'm not saying, one time a guy asked me this. Here's what he said. He said, Charles, how do I not lie? I said, keep your big mouth shut. Wow. Yeah. You'd be amazed how much peace comes. I remember my wife, she told me one time, she said that she wanted to be silent for a while, silent. And she did. She took a vow of silence and she was silent from what she told me. Okay. See, this is what's got to be dealt with. Not this. Not this. This. This is what has to be dealt with. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Because I've met many people, many, many people. Okay. Here's what they would tell me. Charles, I don't cuss anymore. Okay. Charles, I don't drink anymore. Okay. Charles, I don't do drugs anymore. Okay. Charles, I'm not this way anymore. I'm not that way. I said, okay, hold on a minute. I can go to the cemetery right now and point out all sorts of people that don't drink anymore, all sorts of people that don't do drugs anymore, all sorts of people that don't cuss anymore, all sorts of people that really don't do anything anymore. And I tell them, you're doing nothing different than a dead person. Watch this. Don't tell me what you're not doing. Watch this. Show me what you're doing. Okay? Straight up. See? So what happens is, and this is what's crazy, because let me say it like this. Everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that basically shows itself up in our life comes from an outside resource. That's the truth. We tie our shoe. We just didn't go and look at our shoe and go, I'm going to tie that when we were little. Someone outside showed us how to tie our shoe. Someone outside showed us how to use a fork. Someone outside showed us ABC, showed us 1, 2, 3, showed us all this stuff. Outside resources. Okay? This is the difference between man and God. God doesn't work from the outside in. He works from the inside out. Because once this is dealt with, once this is handled, everything else around us seems to be doing okay as well. Okay? That's what's so amazing about it. Because what do we know? I mean, you get down to it, what do we really know? I mean, I'm amazed by that sun. I truly am. Why is that? Well, that bad boy gets up and sets like it's supposed to. It's way over there right now. But it does. It rises and sets like it's supposed to. It warms the earth like it's supposed to. It gives photosynthesis to the vegetation like it's supposed to. That's amazing to me. Like I have light right now because of that sun. And even at night, even though it's not around, it reflects off the moon. Anyway, that's amazing to me. The oxygen we breathe, simplistically, it's given to us without any effort on our part. You don't have to be good to get it. You don't have to be really, really bad to not get it. God will give it to us. I like the way he said that. Let me see if it's I think it's Matthew 7. Matthew 7, I believe it is. Let me make sure here. Yeah, Matthew 7. Let me go back a little bit. No, I think it's 6. Let me check it real quick. I think it's 6. Wait a minute. Maybe it's Matthew 5. Holy smokes. Might be 5. Well, it's in that vicinity. Vicinity, I mean, not vicinity. Let's see. Okay, here's what it says. Here's what he says. Watch. 5:43. You have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. Pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. Watch. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if you love them which love you, what reward have you? Do not even the publicans the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be you therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So I learned something there. Never seen it before, but I learned something. Watch. Had it not been for God letting his sun shine on his enemy, meaning me, I would not now be his friend. If it wasn't for God letting the rain fall on his enemy, meaning me, I would not now be his friend. Wow. Wow. See, that's how awesome he is. See, because he knows, right? Okay. Simplistically, really, really easy, really, really, really simple. We're the ones that make it complex. See, and it all stems from that. Uh, Let me give you an example. Okay, right? Like right now, I'm going to give you something that you don't see right now, but it is going to produce. It is going to manifest itself. Watch this, just to give you an idea. So I get on Facebook and I put, I will make, typing, I will make this for somebody if they want to order it, blah, blah, blah. So what does the lady do? She says, I'd love to order that. Would you deliver this to me by 6 p.m.? Well, 6 p.m. ain't here yet. It's only 1:04, but I already got the water for the beans going. I'm going to run to the store and I'm going to go get the ingredients. See the process that it takes. And I am going to enjoy while I do it because I know this to be true. When you put your heart in it, people seem to taste the love. Now, I can't put that in stone. I can't sit there and go, I'll prove it to you. I just can do on my end and then hear the results of what I did pertaining to the food that I make. Okay? So, in other words, without even seeing it, without even being 6 o'clock yet, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to make this meal. I'm going to go deliver it. I'm going to get paid for doing it. There you go. Lo and behold. I got to drop off some salsa to someone else too. And that's what I'm getting to, folks. Words are very, very powerful. Words are see, and the reason we can bank everything on the word of God is because God can't lie. God can't lie. So everything that he said he's going to do or has done, it's done, folks. Period. Because he can't lie. Now, let me give you the spiritual definition of lie and truth. Give it to you. We're almost done. Bear with me. Spiritual definition of lie is temporary. Spiritual definition of truth is forever. There you go. Okay, so simplistically, see, and it all stems from that confession, that profession that we make, that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. That's it. Okay, like that lady, wherever she's at right now, she said, come to the gift shop and I'll pay you your money. Right now, she's waiting for me. She put a thing out there, and I'm just a man. She put a thing out there that she wants this food. So me, once the car gets back, I'm going to head that way. Then she'll see me. Wow. And I'm just a man. Well, if I'm just a man and someone can make a request, how much more God will bring that request to pass? Because he says that to us. He will give good things to them that ask him. There you go. Anyway, thank you for listening today. I'll be back later. God bless. Have a great day.